Very pleased to be joined now by the president of Unified MMA. He is Sunny Sareen. Sunny, thank you for doing this today. How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming on here and really appreciate you coming to Calgary as well as coming up in May. You guys are coming to the Seven Chiefs Sportsplex at the Tsutsina Nation. I guess, first of all, this is a pretty exciting announcement, I would guess, for your promotion as you guys are venturing a little bit further south than you have before.
Yeah, obviously we've been trying to come into Calgary for a while now, and we've had our roadblocks in the past. Sometimes we had some issues with the commission, or we had issues with COVID. So finally it feels that we're announced, we're secure, and we're almost there. 5 to 6 weeks, we got our first debut in Calgary.
So I guess you said like that there have been some roadblocks in Calgary. What is it about Calgary that was attractive to you?
Well, obviously our market is massive in Calgary. Well, we've been based in Edmonton for 13 years now. A very large portion of our athlete base is out of Calgary. There's a ton of MMA gyms and the fighters are incredible there. So we're always bringing in a lot of fight fans from Calgary into Edmonton, and continuously our team has been trying to get into the Calgary market just to showcase what we're able to provide for these fighters and a platform for them in the local market. And we're just excited to finally be there.
What was it about now that made everything work? Was it just everything finally lined up for you guys, or was there something specific about coming up in May that was a reason for you guys to come here?
Well, we're going to come pre-COVID, and then we've been trying to come, like it kind of all lined up, but we've been continuously trying to find the right venue and then just try to work with the commission. We're able to work with the commission now. We found an incredible venue there in Tsutsina First Nation, and we're looking forward to putting on the show. And it did line up well. We got a ton of good fighters. We got Noah Ali in the main event. We got Tom O'Connor. We got a lot of good local guys that are ranked internationally right now that'll be on the card. So it'll showcase great.
For the Calgary market, is this something you guys are hoping to do regularly? Like, what is kind of the end goal for the Calgary expansion here, I guess?
2 to 3 shows a year. Same concept as Edmonton's. Edmonton, we're doing between around 4 a year right now. And we can't keep up with how many athletes we have based in Western Canada and Central Canada, how many guys want to fight. So the reason we want to go into Calgary is we can put on more shows, keep these guys that are training, keeping them fighting and keeping them going.
Now, you mentioned before some good fighters on this card. The fight card I've been noticing on Facebook starting to round into shape a little bit. You mentioned Noah Ali. He's in the main event fighting for a title. Jesse Arnett is a name that a lot of people in this area are very familiar with when it comes to the fight game. I guess give us a bit of a taste of what fans can expect coming up in May.
Well, unfortunately, Jesse did have a fight in Abu Dhabi recently, and he's actually out of the card right now. Yeah, but we have a great replacement for him, which we should be announcing later this week. But we got Tom O'Connor, 9-2, ranked top 5 in the country at featherweight. We got Noah Ali, who brings an incredible style, and he's got like a really exciting style for the fans in attendance. He's ranked quite high, and he's competing against Gabe Segman coming out of Ontario. So that'll be a fight between clashes because he's a jiu-jitsu guy. We got a ton of guys like Ali Charkey. We got Tim Shady Smith on the card, Curtis DeMars. We got Chris Lee Byrne coming in. There's a lot of up-and-coming talent mixed with a lot of veterans, and I think it'll showcase in the card very well.
Now, when you're putting these types of cards together, like you said, you guys are having trouble keeping up with the talent. There hasn't been a whole lot of MMA in this area for a while now. Even pre-COVID, things had kind of dried up. I guess when you have, it's a nice problem to have, but is it a problem where there's just almost too much talent to kind of go through to put a card together? Like you could put on 35 fights in a few weeks and still maybe not have enough. How challenging is that?
Well, obviously post-COVID, a lot of guys, because if you don't fight, you don't get paid. So these guys have been sitting idle for a while. If you're not in the UFC, like these guys get paid based on attendance, based on these fights happening in the local communities. So there is an influx of guys wanting to compete right now. But right now, we're scheduled to do 8 shows this year, and that's not enough. Next year, we're going to try to do 10, and it still won't be enough. So yeah, man, you're right. Like the market, what we're doing right now, we've been around for 13 years. I think that we are finding a shortage of the amount of shows we can put on to keep these guys going.
I guess, so I was going to ask what the next step you think for Unified is. Is it just being able to put on more fights like that? Or what would you like to see kind of the next step in the evolution? I know it's weird. You guys have just done this big thing. You're coming to Calgary. Now it's okay. Yeah. Congratulations. What's next? But what would you like to see be next for you guys?
Well, obviously, we want to stay a regular in the Calgary market. We want to continue in our backyard in Edmonton at the River Cree Resort just outside Edmonton, actually in Enoch. we want to really enter into 2 markets other than Calgary and Edmonton, which is Winnipeg and Toronto. So I think we are bringing, if you've noticed on our cards, there's a lot of guys coming in from Toronto right now. And I'd like to put on a show in their backyard too, because there's so much talent there. Obviously, there's 15 million people in that province. So if you look at the talent pool, it's quite strong there. And I think that as we grow as a promotion, we can start going into these other markets and put on quality shows. And when you put on these quality shows, when these good fighters, I think it'll really connect to the fans, and it'll create new fans, and it'll adjust to old fans as well.
That creating fans, that's something that came up the last time you and I spoke, different venue when I was at Sportsnet 960. But you guys were just hopping on UFC Fight Pass, and now you've been on there for a few fights now. How much has that vehicle kind of helped you guys in growing the fan base, not only where you're at, but like you said, and now this expansion potentially across the country?
Fight Pass changed a lot for us. It obviously put us on the national and international market. There's so much talent in Canada. I think them providing us a platform for people to see our shows, it just created something that we've always been doing, which is creating new talent, propelling the talent already that we have that it's going towards the UFC. And I think that, it was a great fit. We were very happy with it, and we look forward to working with Fight Pass and showcasing our shows on there as well.
Has there been any, I guess, input from them on that? Like how much have you guys, if anything, have you guys had to change or alter being on the UFC Fight Pass platform?
I can't say too much. Obviously, there's a lot of private stuff going on when we're doing our shows there, but I know our viewership is very high. They're very excited about the Canadian market. Combat sports and Canadian go hand in hand. Obviously, since we've had the George St. Pierre's and the Patrick Coates, and these guys have always done quite well for putting Canadians on the map. I think that's what they want to see. They want to see the new up-and-coming talent, the guys that are almost ready to go to the UFC and compete against the international level fighters on the international stage, which is the UFC.
Mm-hmm. Sunny, thank you so much for your time today. If people want to get tickets to this and check out Unified MMA out here in the Calgary area, how can they do that?
They can just hit up our website, unifiedmma.ca. All the content's there, all the fight cards there, and they can check out tickets if they want. May 6th, we're excited as ever for finally debuting in Calgary.
We're excited to have you, and once again, congratulations. This is a really exciting time for MMA in this province.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.